Hey guys, welcome to part 9 of this Godot beginner tutorial series where we are building a endless runner game in Godot engine. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe now and hit that notification bell to get all updates of tutorials in future. So in this tutorial we're going to look at how we can go and extend our bone and barrel objects or scenes so that our player can have damage affected to them or to itself, or for the player to be able to pick up items to gain score. So to do this we are going to now start expanding on our effect damage and our pickup scenes which we created in earlier tutorials. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using areas for detection for pickup and effect damage. So to do that we're going to change these types to area 2D like so, and then you'll see basically we are going to use these areas to then pick up on whether our player has touched these areas. Instead of it becoming a thing where we are going to detect actual objects such as barrels or bones, etc., we are going to be detecting these areas. So as soon as we want to go ahead and create, let's say, another item which is not a bone, we can easily just extend it with this pickup scene to give it that behavior. And likewise with effect damage, which we will also change the type to an area 2D, we can then add something besides barrels which can affect damage to our player. So that's one way of decoupling these behaviors and effects from the actual obstacles and items, just making it a bit more reusable and easier to use going forward. So that's all we're going to do for these two. So let's now start bringing this into our bone and barrel scenes so that we can actually start using these. So in our barrel scene we'll go ahead and just start bringing it in by dragging this effector in. So go into effectors and our barrel is going to affect damage. Save that off. Let's just with the iterative approach do the same on the bone, and this is going to have a behavior of pickup. So let's add pickup there. So how we'll actually use this now is we need to create a collision shape for it. So what we'll do is we'll go and add a collision shape. So add a child node, collision shape 2D, and let's do the exact same thing for the barrel, collision shape 2D, and save that. So now we can go and create this collision shape. So with collision shape 2D selected, we'll go over to the shape over here and create a new rectangle shape 2D. Let's just zoom in over here and let's resize this up to fit our barrel. So something like this, and move it into position like so. Hit save, and that's going to allow our player to now collide with this area through this shape. Same with our bone, let's do the exact same thing. So we're going to create a new rectangle shape 2D. So you'll see there's a lot of revision in this, but now it's quite easy to go and create new items just by simply following this same process for obstacles and for pickup items. So next what we want to do is we need to start connecting some signals so that we can actually do something with this. But for now let's just play this and then see what this looks like. So you'll see not much has changed. But what I am going to show you is that something has changed, because if we go to project and we go and actually go to debug and we click on visible collision shapes and hit play. So we've got our collider here, we've got colliders on each of these objects. So we'll be able to then detect collision on our player against these objects and items. So to start connecting this up so that it actually does something, we're going to keep it basic for now. We're just going to print when we touch these objects, but in later tutorials we'll start actually doing stuff with this to allow it to affect scores and kill the player, etc. So what we've got here is we're going to basically create a body entered for each of these, so that when the body enters our player, or our player enters the area over here, we can trigger something by a script. So what we'll do is we'll click on this pickup over here, we'll go over to node, and then we'll go and add a body entered signal. So double click on that and we can add it to our bone to add it to our bone script. So connect that and you'll see that we've got this. So let's just print here and say player picked up bone, and let's do the exact same thing with the barrel. So on effect damage, go over to node, go over to body entered, we'll connect this and we'll just say player died. So print player died. So play this and let's just let it run and you'll see what it prints here below. So player died, touching the barrel, player picked up bone, player died, player died, player picked up bone, etc. So you can see it's triggering based off what it's touching. But now what is an issue here is that we're not being very specific on what is actually happening when these different barrels are touching different objects. So if the barrel, for example, is now touching the floor, it's going to trigger. If it's touching the player, it's going to trigger. So we need to be specific about when we are going to be triggering these. So I'm going to close this. And we are going to just extend this script very subtly to allow us to just detect the player. So to do that, what we'll do is we'll just open up, we'll continue in the script, and we need to just do a very basic check. So the first thing is we're going to go and we're going to say, well, the body.name, if it is equal to player, which is our player node, then we'll do something with this. So let's then just say player died, and let's do the exact same thing again on the bone. So we'll do this, actually we'll keep that print, and we'll just get rid of this one, and we'll indent and bring this line up. So now you should see that this is going to become more accurate. I'm just going to get rid of the 0 and 1, 1, 1 and all this stuff, because that's in the spawner over here when we were testing it. So get rid of that and then hit play. So let's have a look. Give it a second. So player died, player picked up bone. So that's pretty accurate now. And we can close that. So now we can start expanding on this. So we can create something very simple. And let's just go over to the bone script. So for the bone script, we want to do a few things. We want to, one, reward the player. We want to play some sounds at some stage. We want to remove the bone from the scene, but to keep it very simple now, what we will do is we will just get rid of the bone for now. So Q free for the bone. And when we hit play, we'll see what it does. So let's see if we actually can touch the bone here with our state machine. And you see that it gets removed from the scene, like so. Okay, likewise for the barrel, it's going to be a bit of a different behavior. We're actually going to remove the player from the scene. But before we do that, let's go ahead and just apply two optimizations to our barrel and our bone. So what we want to do is when these move off screen, we want to actually remove them from our scene and delete them so that they don't take up precious memory. Let's say, for example, if we were building this for a mobile platform. So to do this, we'll do something very simple. On Bone, right click, add a child node, and add something called visibility notifier 2D. Save that, and then you'll see there is a node signal which is going to give us basically this screen exited. So when we don't see it on screen, it will be removed, or actually this will be triggered. And then what we'll do is we'll double click that, connect it, and then simply here we'll call QFree to free it from our game and delete it as soon as it's off screen. So we'll do the same for the barrel as well. Right click on barrel, add child node visibility notifier 2D, go over to node signals, and then we go to screen exited, connect, and we will QFree over here. So that's just some cleanup. Let's now expand on these scripts so that they actually start working. So we'll start off with the bone because it's going to be the easiest one to work with. So what we'll do is we'll start with some basics. We want to now create some type of scoring system which we can use. So what we'll do is we'll open up the script, and what we'll try and do here is we need to go and reward the players. So we need to create a repository of signals that we can call. So to do that, we'll use something like a bridge pattern or a proxy pattern where we can then go and create signals in one specific place and then call them from basically any scene we want, and it's just going to simplify our lives going forward. So let's start off with a signals script just to put in all our signals. So I'm just going to minimize all of these. I'm going to go over to scripts, and I'm going to right click and create a new script, and let's call this signals. And the signal script is going to be a singleton. So to create this as a singleton, we'll go over to project settings, we'll go over to auto load, and then what we'll do in path, we'll click on this and we'll go to script and we will select signals and add that. So you'll see now it's enabled as a singleton, and just hit close. So open up signals, and we're going to define a few signals here now, which are going to be relevant to our entire game. So what we'll do is we'll create a signal to kill the player, so kill player. We'll add a signal to reward the player, and then we'll create a signal to update our score. So this will tell our UI that our score needs to be updated. So to build out the logic before we actually implement any of these signals, we can simply now go to our basically to our bone over here, and we can start implementing that reward player signal. So very simply what we'll do is we'll go and just add some signal emissions. So here we can go and we can say signals. Because we've got it as a singleton now, which is global, we can go and emit signal, and we can just simply choose reward player, and we'll pass it a parameter. We're going to reward the player with 1 score for picking up this item, and later on we'll place sound in here and do all sorts of other things. But for now, we're just going to reward our player, and we're going to print it down here in the output. So next thing we need to now do to just get this player reward system working is we actually need to go and connect this signal now. So that we'll do in our player script. So in our player script, we will start now allocating something called score. So we'll go and create a variable called score, and we'll start off with 0. just as an initial score. Then in our ready function, which we have removed in previous tutorials, we are now going to go and recreate it. So we'll create function underscore ready, and now we need to register this signal. So signals.connect, and then we will use the reward player signal, and we're going to apply it on self. So we're going to apply it to the player GD script, and then we will use a reward player method, which we will create to be called when we get this signal from the pickup. So now let's go ahead and create this function. So go over here and call function, we'll just write function to create it, and then what we'll do is we'll just create a very basic reward. So we need to go reward player is what we called it, and here we're going to just call this score to add. So where the score to add is going to be coming from is over here where we defined our bone. So we've got this reward player 1, so this 1 will then be that score to add. So then very simply in our player script, we will just go ahead and say score plus equals score to add, and that will add that value to our score. So very simply now what we'll do is we will just go and print score so that you can see that it is going to increase. So hit play and let's see if we can just pick up some bones. So something is wrong. Let's have a look. So it's not happy with signals.connect. I think it's maybe spacing over here. Let's make sure. It says invalid call non-existent function connect. Let's have a look why that might be. The reason for that is because we did not extend anything in our signals. So here you need to go and extend node 2D to have access to the connect method. Okay, so once you've done that, this should work. Let's run this and let's see what happens if we touch some bones. So 1, 2, player died, 3. So you can see the score is updating when we pick up these bones. So we'll do something similar with the obstacle to kill the player. We'll call a signal and then do something with that. So, but anyway, that's the end of this tutorial, part 9, where we have already now created these areas to be able to affect damage and pick up items. We'll expand on this concept further in the next couple of tutorials. But anyway guys, that's the end of this one. If you've liked it, please like below. If you've got questions, please leave in the comment sections or in the comments section and I will answer your questions. Thanks again for watching and I will see you in the next tutorial. Cheers.